So, second piece of our play bar game, we will suggest now. The first suggestion it was to consider by your influence at the sports committees on Europe that run the games, review the design as competition instead of having the ranking of points, and this ranking of points going at the first division, the second division, and the third division, which can present you like this: the first division, the second division, the third division. You can take advantage of all this, and we are having a lot of teams making this research almost impossible in the way things are on present time, right? Right, because you operate each one of those boxes as a matrix. And this is associated with frauds and overpayments on contract. Operation Third Wing object of review by law and order review. Federal Bureau of Investigation, USA. We are cooperating with this and stimulating the results. So, because we are the creditors committee, then we will check that indeed this situation won't be like this anymore, because we will consider that you had only the first division, the second division. Guess what? At the same line, they can't be a matrix anymore divided. And then you will hang from here the eight teams, and the eight teams presenting the drivers at A and B that will face each other and have a championship by one station like this, as you could have before. Since we have this on mind, we will ask and offer you this agreement as first piece, which is review the competition, offer and confirm how this goes by scams on bet system, overpayments and salaries, considering that cases involving tax evasion on Spain concerns we all, because the OECD is claiming a taxation in global scale against global companies. But why? Do you have any tax system effective? Indeed, all will steal your money by the state power, but sometimes to support and finance the corruption, even in other area, by interconnection and interaction as international corruption like FIFA scams in Brazil. See? Then the audit has no sugarcoat. Then we'll check the second part of this contract, as plea bargain suggests. It is a clause that it offers the list of teams, companies, ranking the advantage according with the situations that we have. And then we have this situation here as a ranking, is a rank list divided, considering public groups, corporate groups, you know, and it's enough, I'd say. But you can, have, if you would like, the groups as transnational organized crime. See, because indeed they are here. And if you did this, for sure you can have a comparative measurement by frequency of advantage, just like the ranking points, to understand who is, kind of taking advantage of all situation, including the transnational organized crime. Then we will check something like this. Second piece of this, agreement. How? Because it's a fact. How the public corruption and the corporate corruption to both on, target as OECD had been associated with the transnational organized crime, considering that the choice as host seat goes by an election procedure very similar to the entire Western society, threatened unconstitutionalism by the international corruption, especially when you have chairs on Department of Freedoms coming from areas that has no contact with freedom, or about trading of items, services, foods, and all things that have no food to eat. It's something like this. It's kind of be a doctor without have no idea about the medicine and things like this. Crazy situation. World that you live is a big mess. It's not functional. Then we'll check that the electoral procedure as choice is something like this. And we will work with the identity as economy and econometric design that these players, all the public, the corporate, and the transnational organized crime, goes in two situations. First one, my investment saving curve. The second one, my liquidity money curve. The failures at choice as host seat, carrying or bringing, carry, it means from the failures as host seat up to electoral system, or bringing since the electoral system to the whole city as interest, coming and going, gateway. Your committee international has the words, and we have the agreement as plea bargain. The third clause is the gap observed goes by gaps as integrity at the choice as hostage. Similarity, gap as integrity on electoral procedures. Can you nominate this? How this goes? Chairs, frequency, contracts, interest, deeper level of transnational organized crime, taking advantage of transnational organized crime, supported by public corruption with interest as such a new mod, you can. And three clauses and no, penalty, for instance, from your crimes and corruption and things like this that goes by association from Brazil. Suggested to the judicial system in America stamp this as operation number two, because we are on 2022. Is it fair? What do you think? International judicial system. Defensive system, considering the NATO and the US defensive system is one of the main drivers at this planet. Is it fair? Is it all good? So, you agree that this committee has legitimacy to act, and we are acting as amicus curiae. It means we are supporting and doing, a big piece of this accusation, but it will be formally presented by the prosecution American. We are kind of explaining elements and arguments to the judge as your honor that must have the decision against the corruption affecting we all. They all must be declared guilty, but not equally punished by the uh, equity, and that must be applied in all case. And your decision must be, made observing that you have a system with taxonomy in global scale, dividing things, and this is a piece of your good behavior as a judge in USA in both courts, inferior and superior. And the good behavior is the condition as premise for your chair as you continue. Not acting like this, you must be fired or have the destitution of your judicial power. We'll finish here. It's a suggestion at this trial on France, considering the interest from this judicial analysis presented by this creditor committee as amicus curiae from Brazil, but not belong to Brazil. Simple to get even Article 4, Item 9 of the Brazilian Constitution plus 1 Item 4, observing the US Preamble. Have a good night.